Athletic Center in Oakville, Ontario for the Arena Lacrosse League playoffs. Our first quarterfinal matchup has the 7th seed and defending champion Whitby Steelhawks taking on the 2nd seed Peterborough Timbermen. I'm Lance Wynn, working alongside my broadcast partner Blair Campbell, as well as with JVI Productions. Glad to have you with us here. And Blair, before we get things started here, an outstanding matchup. You got a number 2 seed against a 7th seed, but as you know, with the parity in this league, I mean, anything can happen. Tell me, what do you think the keys to success are for the Steelhawks?
Lance, just before I even get into the keys, the last time I did a game with you with the Steelhawks were playing, they had an absolutely phenomenal game. They did everything their coach talked to me about they wanted to do. The unfortunate part was their goaltenders had one of those games that you wish you never have, but it happened. But having said that, the biggest thing I think that the Steelhawks have to do is they've got to be strong 5-on-5. That's their first thing. They got to stay out of the penalty box because that killed them the last time. The other thing they got to do is, with the size of the goaltender from Peterborough, they've got to pick their shots, make sure their shots are good, well placed. That goalie's pretty big and he takes up a lot of the net. Last but not least, they've got to utilize their speed in transition. And it's funny that situation came forward because one of the keys that the Peterborough team mentioned to me was they have to slow down Whitby's transition. So that feeds right into it.
Well, of course, and with that said, I mean, you look at the Timbermen, it's almost night and day. Last year they struggled, finished near the cellar. This year they grabbed the number 2 seed. You got to figure they've been doing some things right. What are they looking to accomplish here besides picking up the W?
Well, and that's one of the things I said to the coaches. Other than scoring more goals than the other team, I need to know what keys you've got to get your guys to do. But, I mean, first thing, as I said, they want to make sure they slow Whitby's transition down. That's number 1 to them. Second thing is, when they're on defense, they want to close the gaps. They don't want to give these guys the gaps to get their shots away. And last but not least, they've got to capitalize on the shot clock. They've got to use it to their advantage and not be taking shots with 5 seconds, 10 seconds still to go in there.
So with that said, we're going to go to our national anthem. So just about to get ready to start here. Starting goalies for today's game for the Steelhawks, it'll be Lucas Coote. Comes in with a 4-4 record and a 14.68 goals against average. And at the other end, Nick DeMode will get the start for the Timbermen. His record is 6-2 with an 11.20 goals against average. Head coaches on the Whitby bench, it's Brad MacArthur and Gavin Prout. They are co-head coaches in their 2nd season. And for Peterborough, missing his head coach and GM Joe Sullivan, it'll be Ray Dance at the helm. He'll be assisted by Derek Cruff. Today's officials, Bob Hollingsworth is the crew chief. He's joined by Roger Nurse and John Watson. So 2 teams here, Blair. We've gone into in-depth about each of them and what they bring to the table. You got to figure very evenly matched talent-wise. When you look at Whitby, you've got J.P. Keeley, you've got Austin Murphy, and when you look at Peterborough, you have, of course, Mark Vredenberg as your number 1, one of the leading scorers. Those guys certainly have to get on track here.
Well, excuse me. Pardon me, Brian. I think the biggest thing with this is if you're going to take this game, you want to get into it early. You want to make sure you get a good start and try to take the other team out of it as quick as you can. The first team that does that, I think, is going to be and once again, one of the biggest keys, center ball. You've got to have the face-offs.
Possession is always key in this one, and of course you've got two of the top face-off men in Mike Byrne on the Whitby side and Brett Coons for the Timbermen. As when you get into this level of lacrosse, very specialized as to what these guys do in their role. And we are set to go here, the 2019 All Playoffs. Quarterfinal number 1 of 3. Stick around for the second half of our doubleheader. It'll be the Paris Riverwolves and the Six Nations Snipers. Right now, a spot in the Final Four next weekend at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena on the line. Off the draw, pretty even. Scooped up Timbermen will own the first possession of these playoffs, and they'll move it up deep, start things on the left side. Right off the bat, swarming defense from the Steelhawks, forces the turnover, and back they come the other way.
That's one of the reasons you never take the ball to the bench side. Right there.
J.P. Keeley, of course, in his third game here in the Arena Lacrosse League, was outstanding so far. And he'll be instrumental. Big shot right off the bat. Garrett Eddy's shot stopped by Damoud, and the Timbermen now will counter. Parker Sands going hard, takes a hard hit. That ball goes up, stays in play. Timbermen couldn't scoop it up on the first attempt. They do on the next one, and back in the lineup, and glad to have him. Cameron Simpson, a bit of a stint in the NLL. He's back here for the Timbermen. Mark Vredenberg, of course, one of the leading scorers in the league, out there with Fred Hartley as well. And that's stopped by Lucas Coote. He's been outstanding this season, and the Steelhawks now will move it over the timeline. Luke Pilcher, the outstanding rookie, comes in with a rookie high 49 points. Working that left side, Cam Milligan looking for an opening, can't find one. Good collapsing defense, 10 on the shot clock. Milligan looking for help, flips it over, finds Murphy. Murphy, big overhand. Damoud steered that aside, and the Timbermen now will counterplay some offense of their own.
They're not going to score many goals from 35 feet out on this guy. They're going to have to get that penetration.
Blake Kenny now back in the Timbermen lineup. Still looking for an opening. Swing pass, dangerous one, but corralled by Tim Bergen, also back in the lineup after missing a game. So everyone's 100% strong. 5 on the shot clock. Quick stick, Hartley wide of the mark. Picked up by the Steelhawks, and they'll get it over the timeline. So some good defense at both ends here early on. And Cody Hamley will flip and he'll retreat. Keeley looking for a screen out there with Chad Culp and Cody McMahon. Culp going hard. Fake one twice. And didn't sneak over the goal line. So Damoud closed the 5-hole just in time. That sat right on the carpet, right on the white line.
We got a great view of it from up here, sitting about an inch in front of that line.
Cameron Simpson, last time I did a game with Simpson, he carried 3 on his back and scored 2 shorthanded markers. And he's more than a handful. Bergen, good fake. That shot blocked, though. No reset, 5 on the shot clock. Looking for Bergen again down low. Can't find him. Sorry, that's Dalton Lundy. Nope, my bad. It is Tim Bergen, like I was correct in the first place. And we'll roll on. 12:05 to go here, opening quarter.
You thought you made a mistake once, but you were
I know.
wrong.
I corrected myself unnecessarily. Used to it. Keeley bounce shot off the post. That's corralled, Murphy. And they'll work to the right side with Milligan. Milligan half boards, looking for a cutter. He'll curl around, send a backhand pass. It goes there. Picked up Murphy, tough angle. Nothing there off the post, though. So off the post, off the netting, possession will stay right here with the Steelhawks. Keeley cutting, he's covered. And they look for the second cutter on the back door, and that was Jeff Fernandez. Not able to beat Damoud, and here come the Timbermen.
I'll tell you one thing. I noticed one thing right off the hop here. Whitby had Austin Murphy right off the bat off that shot was heading to the bench, whether they got the ball or not. That's smart lacrosse, getting guys out there on the defense.
Screen and roll, working Kenny with, and that's wide. Vredenberg will have to tee it up. That's blocked. 5 on the shot clock. Tracking it down was Aaron Woods. Aaron Woods got a shot off, just stopped, but we're going to have our first power play of this game, as it looks like it's going to be Mark Farthing. He's going to spend 2 minutes in the box for slashing. First power play of the game, and it goes to the Peterborough Timbermen. So the power play unit has Vredenberg out there. He's down on the crease. Blake Kenny's out there as well, as is Fred Hartley. They're the left side. You look on the right side, you've got Tim Bergen, and sliding down low, Aaron Woods. So a pretty good power play unit out here as they'll work it around. That's blocked, so good defense right off the bat. And it's Hutchinson who will get it to Culp. Culp does a good job, beats one, and again DeMode. Again, that ball sitting right on that goal line. Whitby comes in at a penalty kill rate at 32%, and you look at the other side, Peterborough working at a 50% clip efficiency with a man advantage. Just over a minute to go in the power play. Just creeping in on the 10-minute mark here, opening quarter. Kenny will swing it around. Vredenberg at the top. That one stopped by Coote. And again, that will take us to our first officials timeout. And with that said, Blair, we just mentioned about where you're getting your shots from, and you can notice the defenses are collapsing, and with these two big good goalies, how do you penetrate that?
Well, what you've got to do is you've got to get your ball movement outside. It's as I've said in many times, your north-south movement will create your east-west opportunities. And right now, Whitby has been keeping the ball out wide, but I think they got to get the ball moving faster. Get the defense moving. I think that's the biggest key. Is like I said, north-south will create your east-west, and you're not going to beat these guys. These guys are too good. 35 feet out, you're not going to beat.
I agree. Big difference from back in the day when guys were playing both ends of the floor, so you knew that when they came back, probably a little winded. Now, not the case. Well, that's the same when I played. So
they had lacrosse back then.
It was like 2 weeks ago. Back to action here is my partner, Blair Campbell, chock full of jokes, I tell you.
By a long field?
That's right. Wooden sticks, you better believe it.
I've been hit by lots of them.
40 seconds left. That pass picked off in the middle. Doing a good job closing that off was Stefan Borden, and it'll be the Timbermen now that will bring it over with 30 seconds left in the power play. Vredenberg will set things up, be very deliberate, wait for the rest of the left side. Bergen out there as well as Hartley, as is Vredenberg. That shot from Bergen, wide of the mark. 5 on the shot clock, inching in. Kenny, underhand. That's deflected, no reset. Gonna hurry, 1 second left, and that's blocked as well. So Steelhawks with a big hold, 7 seconds left in the penalty. And Whitby now will bring it up. Hutchinson will flip to Keeley.
That's an excellent penalty kill to start.
Sure was. Keeley curls around. That shot steered aside by DeMode. Corralled by Cody McMahon. He'll get it back to Culp. He'll get it back himself. They'll swing it around right side to Murphy. Murphy working with Cam Milligan, looking for a screen. Can't find an opening. Dodge a bit. He'll wind up. Shot again. DeMode with a big save there. He'll send the outlet, and away comes Doug Utting and the Timbermen. Utting, an outstanding transition player, does a lot of the little things. The intangibles, as Cam Simpson now. More than a handful. Gets a screen from Woods. They swing it around to Hartley. Hartley will get it to Kenny. Kenny looking for an opening. Gets to Woods, makes a good fake. And Woods comes in, bounce shot, closing the 5-hole was Coote. Rebound again, Coote, big save. So Lucas Coote coming up big early. And he sends the outlet away, and here come the Steelhawks and Nick Diachenko. He high steps it over the line.
That just rolled off his head and off his shoulder and almost bounced in the top corner. That was close.
That was very close. Keeley Got to keep an eye on him. That's a quick shot. That's going to go over the timeline. Didn't touch anyone. Violation. Play it where it lies. And good hustle by Zach Thompson. He'll pick it up deep in the offensive end with 7:49 to go, opening quarter. Simpson. He'll swing it around. They'll start things on the right side with Bergen till he floats it out to Hartley. Hartley gets a screen, rolls in, hesitates, shot on Coote, stop, picked up. Steelhawks now will move it up. Luke Pilcher has an opening, has room, transition. Pilcher tried to go far side, good save to Mode. Picked up by the Timbermen. They will counter the other way, and they'll go to work on offense. Woods using the screen. Coote the save. That's picked up. Steelhawks think better of moving it up, and they'll lug it. And the flip there to Dylan Hutchinson. He'll dump it down in the corner to Milligan. Milligan, half boards, right side. Gets a screen from Murphy, but there was too much on that trip. And possession will go the other way to Peterborough. Just under 7 minutes to go here. First quarter. Quarterfinal number 1 here in the Arena Lacrosse League playoffs as they're underway. Looking for that give and go. Ended up in the stick of Coote. Coote now will move it up. Transition now for the Steelhawks. Riley Palmer looking down low and covered down there and getting knocked down. Looks like Garrett Eddy.
Good cell job.
Eddy maybe a little bit of embellishment, but either way got the call, and that's what matters. Keeley. Curl around, swing it around right side. Eddy has it knocked out of his stick. Milligan fished for it, couldn't. Here come the Timbermen now, 2-on-1. Clay Arnold ran into 2 defenders. He'll pull it out and wait for some help, and it's Hartley to the rescue. Fred Hartley will pull it out, get it to Simpson, and Simpson will work one-on-one, lean in. Tell you need more than 2 with him. Has 3 on him. He'll flip it back out to Woods. Woods will curl around, get it to the top. Bergen unloads, stopped by Coote. Ball loose, half boards, left side. Scooped up off the carpet. And here come Whitby now, and Pilcher will think better of it and hold it up, be a little more deliberate here. He'll flip and retreat. So Pilcher, again, one of the leading scorers on the team, playing some defense, and the scoring's open by Cody McMahon on a bounce shot. And when we talk about fundamentals, bounce shot's the way to go, Blair.
Well, I mean, I know I said it before about 35 feet out. This one was about 40 feet out, and Cody just sold the high shot but followed through low, and it bounced right under the stick of the goaltender. But he had lots of time, lots of room. So he still could have taken that ball in another 15, 20 feet.
Could have, but you know what? You go with that overhand, and right off the bat, toughest shot for the goalie to try to recognize. You can put it anywhere and
makes him stiffen up.
Either way, 1-0 for the Steelhawks. Timbermen now, who have actually dominated possession-wise in this opening quarter, and trail by 1. Raymond Beatty loses it, and the Steelhawks now will come away. It's Corey Upshaw. Upshaw had himself a fine season defensively, one of the strong defenders here in the Arena Lacrosse League. Eddy, he'll wait, gets it to Culp. Under the 5-minute mark here, opening quarter. Keeley, good spin move, kicks it to Milligan. Milligan looking for a screen, has Udding on him. Udding chases him. Milligan runs out of room. Crease the call, and that will take us to our second officials' timeout.
One of the things I like right now is the way both teams are running the floor. They're really, like, it's nonstop. The transition is a great game right now for both teams. It's just a matter of who's going to kind of, like, capitalize on it first.
No, I agree with you, and that's one of the things. It's about flow, right? When you talk about transition, a lot of things have to go right, particularly starting on the bench. So you got to have guys being released at the exact time. You have to have guys hustling off, and that's key. And, we've seen that. So guys do a good job of doing that. That, of course, will lead to your break, and that makes a huge difference.
The refs are letting them play the game as well, which I think is a huge situation. And there's been a couple of times when it's been real close to that too many men situation, but you know what? It's gone both ways, and they're letting them do it both ways, which I'm fine with.
And I think as long as there's a cap and a limit to things and no one gains the advantage, I think that that's good to allow the flow to go. So we'll see if they continue that. It'll be Timberman ball here as we're back to action with 4:40 to go, opening quarter. Woods will shoot it to Bergen, and they'll start things with Simpson deep on the right side. Kenny, big shot, stopped again by Coote. Rebound, Coote again makes a save, creased the call on Vredenberg, and you're going to notice some differences in the roles a lot of the guys played during the regular season. Now with your full lineup there, with all your weapons, as McMahon again comes around, dumps it off. Good one to Murphy. Murphy goes crashing into the net. That's a crease call. And there's no goal on the play, and possession will go the other way.
Well, that play at the other end with the shot on the Whitby net, very lucky there wasn't a hooking call on that. Very lucky. But once again, movement. You
know luck's part of the game, Blair. You got to have a little luck.
You got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good.
That's right. So Vredenberg now with the ball, and he makes a good swim move, tried to get it through, but the defense collapsed and closed that off. Steelhawks now will counter. Garrett Lewis, 3-on-1. Lewis fakes, goes to the far corner. Damoud, big shoulder save. Timmerman scooped that up and looking for the outlet. Culp, though, with the theft. He's got a step. He'll curl out. And takes a hard hit from Ethan Riggs, but another possession here for the Steelhawks with 3:25 to go. Keeley, high stepping, tries to tuck that by, goes off Damoud. And behind the net, Damoud ends up with it in his stick. And he'll get the outlet to the left side, and they'll move it up. Brett Coons will get it over to Bergen. Tim Bergen for Woods. Woods has an opening, lets it go. Simpson couldn't handle the rebound. It's going to go all the way down. Luke Pilcher hustling for it like he should. And it'll be possession to the Steelhawks, and an inadvertent buzzer.
30-second clock went off.
And we'll go right ahead. Play on. Steelhawks now. Big shot from Milligan from way out. Stopped by Damoud. Rebound corralled by Murphy. Fresh clock for the Steelhawks. Murphy has a step. Takes it hard. Again, Damoud. Not a whole lot of room there to sneak anything through the short side.
Last two possessions, though, Whitby's had Cody McMahon come off the bench, and he hasn't got back past the front mid-court line. And they got to get him in the game.
So Vredenberg now will play the top before retreating to the crease. You look at Vredenberg, second in the league in scoring with 77 points. Does a good spin move, tries to tuck it. Closed door, though, to Coote, and a late hit could result in another power play. That is the case. It looks like Corey Upshaw will be guilty of the illegal cross-check. And the Timbermen now will go on their second power play of this game.
I think the boards might have sold that hit a little bit more than what it was. I think
it takes a lot to impress you. I tell you that right now. You're a tough guy to, guy takes a shot, gets hit in the back, and that's just not enough. But Blair Campbell's
no. I'm not saying that.
Blair Campbell's from the old school, so
I'm not saying that.
Woods, big shot, good save by Coote.
I'm just
fresh
saying
clock and Bergen.
The boards there the noise from the boards might have sold a little bit more than what it was.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm glad you clarified that. So now we're. You won't have any issues with anyone and what they're saying. Woods gapped nicely, and a good save there by the Steelhawks Diaz. We're into 1:35 left in the first. Timmerman trailing by a goal. Working it around Bergen. Woods again off the post. Goes off the post off Vredenberg and back to Coote, who manages to get it out of his crease and airmails it off the glass. Almost over and back.
On the line,
by
not
Woods,
over
and Woods' shot will go up, and that will go over the timeline. And that will be a violation. Possession will go to the Steelhawks as our officials will get together, and an awful lot of background noise from the Whitby bench. Always good, Blair, when the officials are able to get together and discuss it. So I think they've decided that we're going to go with a draw ball. Unfortunately, when you have one ref calling one way and another the other, it's best to just even it off with a draw ball.
On top of that, right now, the best thing they could do would be go to both benches and say, this is why this is done.
Well, I think that's what the discussion is with Chad Culp.
But that's, you know what? That's what I like to see. When there's a doubt, all three of you get together, talk it over, figure the right call out. I mean, provided you don't take 2 or 3 minutes to do it, but you get that right call and you explain it to the benches so that there's no argument.
No, I agree. As long as there's some communication on that, I think that's key, and that's the way to go. So face-off it is with 1:07 to go, opening quarter. We are in the midst of our first quarterfinal, the first of 3, 2 today, 1 tomorrow. Tomorrow right here, 2 o'clock, and it's Dylan Hutchinson that will scoop it up off the draw and get it back, move it in the right direction. And in case you're not familiar with that rule, off the draw, there's no one over and back. It's all live until there's a possession. Milligan now will start things off as we're under a minute to go here in the first. Steelhawks will be very deliberate with 30 seconds to go to kill in the Upshaw penalty. DeMode with a save. And
right now,
Keeley now with a fresh
off.
clock. Steelhawks are going to keep it on the half boards.
You know what? Just stand there with it. Who cares? You'd be down to 5 seconds, and there's no way they're going to get a goal off to score on you in that
I think that's exactly what Keeley's doing here as we're under 20 seconds on the game clock. 5 in the penalty. Pressure on Keeley. Keeley with the backhand bullet. Good save by DeMode. Had to be awake for that. And it's picked up in the corner. And again, it's Keeley curling around. Bounce shot wide of the mark. Late shot from Culp, and we have played 15 minutes in the books. It is 1-0 in favor of the Steelhawks. And Blair, when you talk about this quarter, you got to be impressed with the quality of play.
I'm impressed actually by both teams. They are both doing a good job, as I said, in getting the ball up the floor in transition. I think at the start of the game, Whitby was probably taking too many shots from outside. And one thing I would like to see Peterborough do a little bit more is white ball, white sweaters. Use that as a shot from outside, like, because the goalies will have a hard time picking up the white ball off the white sweaters from the Whitby sweaters. So Peterborough, I'd like to see a little bit more of the outside shot. It seems all the shots are coming from 2 guys from outside. They're coming from Woods, and they're coming from Simpson. They've got to spread that around. Somehow they've got to get the ball to other people. As a defensive coordinator, it's real easy to figure out if they're going to run everything through one guy, it's real easy to stop.
No, I think you're right. And I think during the regular season, when you look at the way the Steelhawks in particular have operated, when you have a guy, their scoring was so very balanced. You've got Milligan leading. He had 55 points, Pilcher with 49, Culp with 39, as opposed to, when you look at Peterborough's Vredenberg, who comes in with 77 points, Woods was 65, Hartley was 60. So those numbers are, a heck of a lot higher on your second seed than they are on your number 7 seed.
And, I mean, right now, as far as that goes, I mean, I've been there, you've been there. You can take your stats from the regular season and you can throw them right at the window because they mean 3/5 of diddly, other than the fact that, as I said, coaches know who the ball's going to go to, who they have to defend in that situation. You know what? If you can get your secondary scoring stepping up and doing it for you, that's going to help you.
Well, it's certainly attested to the goaltending at both ends with just 1 goal in the opening 15 minutes here as we're all set for second quarter action. Byrne and Coons one more time in the circle. I want to thank you for tuning in here as we are quarterfinal number 1 at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center in Oakville, Ontario. Lance Wynn with Blair Campbell and the JVI Productions crew in full effect here, and off the draw, scooped up by the Steelhawks. Good hit. Sends Farthing to the carpet, but he rolls it over, and an offensive possession for Keeley and the Steelhawks. Culp now with a skip pass to the half boards, and it's Murphy one step by, tried to go far, so a good save by DeMode. Rebound picked up Milligan, looking in the middle for McMahon, couldn't catch that cleanly, and DeMode now will send it away to Zach Thompson. Thompson in transition, looking for Simpson. Simpson will play the carom, swing it back, underhand, stopped, and a good save made by Coote. Gulch Salinas will move it up. He'll get it to Diachenko. Diachenko gets a screen, looks to let it go. He'll dump it. He'll retreat to the bench. And Keeley now will go to work trying to turn the corner. Milligan with Utting on him. Still has Utting on him. Good save by DeMode. Crease the call. Possession will go the other way.
It's amazing me that DeMode doesn't even come off the goal line. He stays deep in that net, and he relies on his size to stop the ball wide on from side to side.
Well, know your tools, know what you're working with. Vredenberg will get it to Kenny. Kenny now working one-on-one, a lean in. Takes a couple of hard checks from Pilcher, and he'll curl out. Looking down low, backdoor play to Woods. Woods will get the rebound. 2 on the shot clock. Kenny posting up, and diving is Vredenberg. Crease the call. Steelhawks now will move it up. Pilcher. He'll think better of making that pass. Trot over the timeline now, and he'll flip and retreat. So we'll wait and see if Pilcher ends up on the offensive end in the second half. Murphy again, blowing by, tried to sneak it 5-hole, and we've got a man down in Dalton Hill. And I'm not quite sure if he got snagged on the carpet or if he may have twisted the wrong way, but he hobbles off at least on his own power.
I think it might be
Peterborough
his ankle
now
that he
will have
twisted.
possession.
I think it might be his ankle that he twisted, but I'm not sure.
Hartley will swing it over to the right side. Kenny. Dump it to Vredenberg. Vredenberg. Look for an opening. Good underhand. Stopped though by Coote. Again, that's picked up and moved up. So in transition. Byrne looking down low. Keeley. And DeMode again. Once again teetering on that white goal line. That's the third time here in this opening half that ball has sat right on that white line. Not sure what kind of paint they're using for those lines here at the track, but...
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You go to that well too often, you're going to get burnt.
I'd have to agree. Hartley turning the corner. He's draped by Dylan Hutchinson. That's going to draw a penalty. DeMode hasn't left as the shot clock winds down. Good move, Kenny. Good stop by Coote. Reset. And now you'll see DeMode leave for the extra attacker on the delayed penalty. Woods will be a little more deliberate here with plenty of time on the shot clock. And it's Kenny. Sorry, Bergen. Bergen now will dump it down low. Simpson looking for an angle. Tried the underhand. That hit the side of the net. Rebound, no. Picked up. Loose. Simpson, 5 on the shot clock. Got to shoot it quick, and that one wide of the mark. That'll be a violation. And we'll have another power play. And again, it'll be the Timbermen that will have the man advantage.
And as we said before, that's one of the things that Gavin mentioned. They got to stay out of the penalty box. This is a pretty potent power play. They've been lucky so far. But I'll tell you one thing. I was very pleased with the discipline that Whitby used right there. Instead of having two guys going and chasing a loose ball when they're 6-on-5, they stayed in that 5-man box, which was smart play.
So good heads up as Bergen now will start things off. Bergen, Woods, Simpson out there with Kenny and Vredenberg. The power play unit for Peterborough here. Their third power play of the game. They're 0 for 2. Woods underhand again, stopped by Coote, and Long shot again, Blair, and looking to air it out in the back door was Coote. That ended up almost in the lap of head coach Gavin Prout, and Peterborough now will set up again on offense. We are just under 11 minutes to go, second quarter.
If Gavin had a stick, he would have quick sticked it into the net when he caught it.
From there, I agree. Bergen stiffing the opening. Again, underhand Kenny, wide of the mark. That goes off the netting.
No, it went off a white defender right at the top of the
They say it went off the defender. Possession will
line.
stay right here. And that's the call. Not a whole lot of argument. Peterborough going to have to gap this box a little better, get a better shot. Bergen swinging around. Kenny, Bergen from far out, can't find the mark. That's going to go over the timeline. That'll be a violation. Good hustle by the Steelhawks. Udding knows that, but out the back doors McMahon. McMahon almost looking to unleash that, and no Academy Award on that one there by Joe Wasson. And double teamed. Two defenders on him is McMahon. 50 seconds left in the penalty. Udding's in there digging hard for it. Thompson's hitting it, and they get it to Keeley. Keeley with 5 on the shot clock, bounce shot, and DeMode with a good save, but it goes off the netting, and a fresh clock for Whitby.
7 seconds difference between the shot clock right now and the penalty clock. Smart move, stand still. Make them chase. No.
So not the best shot selection from Milligan, as with a man short, he gets bailed out though by Keeley. No reset on the clock as it gets down to 10. Murphy, got to watch, has one of the quickest first steps. Culp with a quick shot, stopped by DeMode. DeMode now will work it on up, and the Timbermen don't have numbers. 3-on-3, the back door, and it's Woods with a shot, stopped by Coote. Battling for it behind the net, loose, picked up, and pulling it back out is Thompson. Thompson will get it to Hartley. He'll swing it to Vredenberg. Vredenberg looking for Kenny. Kenny managed to track down the loose ball, and Timberman now. Woods trying to turn the corner. Good stick check, and it was a beauty. And back the other way comes Corey Upshaw. Upshaw will wait for some offensive help. Dumps it down low, and a beautiful pass and finish. So a nice job by Corey Upshaw as he sets up Jeff Fernandez. An unlikely pairing, but it gives Whitby a 2-0 lead.
Very, very unusual situation where they took the ball to the bench side. But what it did was it threw Peterborough off because that guy coming off the bench just slid right by him. Right by the second defender, and it was a great pass. Great pass, but that was a situation where had the goaltender been a foot out from the net, it wouldn't have gone in because it went off his pant leg and right into the side of the net because he was so deep.
So that will take us to our officials' timeout, and I think sometimes, a lot of times, guys get caught up when it's a defender and he's only playing defense. You don't expect him to think offensively. And there was a case where Upshaw pulled it, like you said, deep in the corner, but not just looked to kick it back out. He looked for the open man and found Fernandez. So give credit to Upshaw for making a good pass, but also to Fernandez for making a good cut.
100%. That's what I said. It was a great pass for the guy, but the guy coming off the bench did a great job getting to that spot. But still, Peterborough got caught, and Whitby did a great job of getting to the bench to get the transition guy an extra 35 feet out that door. And you know what? You can't stop speed and smarts. And both of those situations occurred in that goal right there.
Just want to remind our viewers that at halftime I will have the league president, Paul St. John, join me for a chat about a little about this, a little about that.
That ought to be a short conversation.
And stick around. No such thing as a short conversation with Paul St. John. We all know that.
Who was talking about the conversation?
Well, sorry, was I talking about you or was I talking about Paul? I'm not quite sure, but
yes.
Either way, we've chased him out, so
that's
he might not even want to do it anymore
because
he's all mad now. So we'll have to smooth it over.
Paul's giving me a dirty look.
We'll have to smooth it over before we go. Back to action now as the Timbermen will go to work 5 aside. Hartley with a chance. Coote from point blank. We're at the 8:35 mark, and It's going to be Dychenko. He's got the legs going. Looking for an opening. Takes a shot. Stopped by DeMode. Rebound corralled, and what a finish. J.P. Keeley. Man, oh man, through the legs. Boy, that's a highlight and a half.
Okay, I'm officially in awe. One hand, underhand, behind the back, off a rebound. Give me a break.
And I mean, you've seen a lot of lacrosse in your day and a lot of great players, but boy, oh boy, that was some kind of creativity.
And I got to say this, staying with what we were talking about, even our illustrious president couldn't make that shot.
No, he was pretty good, but
couldn't make that shot.
I don't know too many guys that have that in their arsenal.
I know one, John Grant Jr.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that. There's certainly – I thought you were going to say senior, but senior was just a man from any distance, right? There wasn't a good shot.
Senior was from anywhere.
Anywhere, anytime. Ball loose
over the shoulder from the wrong side of the floor.
I never seen a backhand like that, as Hutchinson not able to keep it over in the offensive end. That'll be a violation. So the Steelhawks, despite the Timbermen having their chances with 3 power play opportunities, lead this one 3-0. Kenny now will swing it out. Vredenberg, they need a little something. A lot of weapons out on that carpet, and they just need one as Coot steers that one aside again. Got to find a way to get to Coot.
Got to find a way to get to the crease. Inside the dotted line, not 10 feet outside it.
I think the difference has been the goals have been scored in tight, and that one's going to go over the timeline. And right out the back door, close call for too many. Good effort, and DeMoe does a good job as they body Culp. Gavin Prout not too happy with what transpired, and the Timbermen will work on the left side. Kenny, plenty of time on the shot clock. Looking for a cutter, skip pass, finds Bergen. Bergen's quick shot right off the chest of Coot. Coot now will send away Pilcher. Pilcher will move it up to Salinas. Salinas, Culp out the back door. Covered nicely, so good defense by the Timbermen. And we're at the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. Steelhawks leading this one. Timbermen still looking for their first goal of the half. Swinging around, Milligan, wrong stick side, kicks it back out. That's going to find its way over the timeline, and it's going to be picked up, scooped up, and taking it hard. Buzzer goes off either way. A good job to close the door on Clay Arnold.
Great job by Culp in selling that, letting him go by him and just swinging the stick up and taking it.
No one can sell it like Culp, I'll tell you. As Murphy now will set things up. 6.5 to go, second quarter. Coming off the bench, it's Keeley. Keeley looking to go, jump, stopped by DeMode. That ball's knocked off the glass. Loose. Bodies all over it, gets knocked over the timeline, and it'll be Cody McMahon that'll pick it up, settle things down.
That play that just happened down there, it's a little situation that I've talked to you about before, where if guys can remember, instead of shortening up from the top and bringing their stick back, shorten up from the bottom, Culp never would have got that ball.
McMahon with a shot, underhand, good save. Murphy corrals the rebound, turns the corner off the post, picks that up, lost it, still loose. Milligan in there, couple of cross checks, and it's scooped up, and it'll get moved up by the Timbermen. Croy Arnold, of course, the Arnold brothers, Croy and Clay, look a wee little bit alike if you've ever caught them without the helmets, to say the least. Vredenberg, got to get him on track. Beauty spin move, dumps it off, looking for Bergen. Couldn't field that pass. Scooped up now. Here come the Steelhawks. In transition, Culp slides out of the back door. Byrne. Eddie, big shot. DeMode, big save. Scooped up, and Peterborough now will counter. Arnold. Clay will dump it back, and they'll get it back out and set things up. Thompson. Kenny. Good move. Ducks in. Kenny up, down. Big save by Coot. Rebound to Woods.
Best save of the game.
That was a beauty. All arm by Luke Coot. Kenny 20 on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Hartley. Hartley, the flip was errant. Woods bails him out. Looking for cutting Kenny. Can't find him. Hartley now with 10 on the shot clock. Goes around one defender. Has it checked. Picked up in tight. Backhand try by Simpson. Stopped by Coote. Steelhawks come away with it, and it's Pilcher. Luke Pilcher working wrong stick side. He'll remain on offense. Coughs it up. It's Udding. Udding now working on Keeley. No numbers. Good transition defense from Whitby. And Udding will wait to pull it out, and he finds Vredenberg. Under 4 minutes to go, second quarter. Vredenberg fakes the flip. Swing pass. He'll get it back. Vredenberg opening, it's blocked and off the netting. Possession will stay right here, and we'll have another official's timeout. And when you look at these teams in particular, you got to be impressed with that Whitby defense.
I'm amazed at the difference from the last time I saw them. But, again, I didn't think their defense was that bad before. It was just that the goaltender had one of those nights that just you wish you never had in your entire life. But I'm telling you, this right now, Whitby is doing a great job keeping Peterborough outside, forcing them to those outside. When they've got inside, the guy that's been awesome has been Coote. He's made 2 or 3 great saves when they have gotten in. Like that last save was just one phenomenal left arm save. And that could be a game saver right there.
You're right, and it's funny talking about a game saver, you know, when we're still in the first half, but
yeah.
You're absolutely right based on the way this game is flowing. You can tell that it may come down to 1 or 2 mistakes could determine the outcome here, as both teams are playing solid. And I certainly agree with you about shot selection. I mean, you compact that D, you force the shots from outside, rely on your goaltender to see it and stop it. Timberman now back to work on offense. Hartley will dump it out. Vredenberg, sidearm, Coote, and Vredenberg snuck that in. So on the scoreboard is Mark Vredenberg. On the scoreboard are the Timbermen, and they trail this one now 3-1.
And the unfortunate part was Coote got a good piece of this ball, but it went right between his arm and his body. It just kind of snuck in between. It was a great shot from Brandenburg, but still, it's 45 feet out. And, you know, that's 1 out of 30 shots that have been from out there. You're not going to beat him very often from out there.
Not very often at all.
Not the way he's playing tonight.
34th goal of the season, first of the playoffs for Vredenberg, and a much-needed goal, though, for the Timbermen psychologically with 3:25 to go here in the half.
Yeah, let's see what it does to them to the Steelhawks right now, because they've had their way right now. See if they can get over that 1 goal scored on them.
Garrett Eddy now will think better of making that pass to Milligan. Swinging, and it's Keeley, turns the corner. Keeley goes to the air. Stopped, though, by Demode. Picked up by Culp. Culp now will reset. Fresh clock for Whitby. Keeley, again, working one-on-one. He's a handful. Bulls his way in. Puts on the brakes. Rolls around, looking again, gets a shot off, wide of the mark. Milligan will track that down. 15 on the shot clock. Quick stick, in tight. Culp, stopped, though, by Demode. Picked up by the Timbermen. They'll counter the other way. Thompson. Thompson's been all over this carpet here in the opening half. Simpson will get it to Hartley, who'll kick it to Kenny. 2.5 as good job defensively as Kenny turns it over. And Garrett Lewis looking and diving and trying to tuck it in was Fernandez. And here comes Udding. No numbers for the Timbermen. Good transition defense from Whitby as they wait for their 5th, and that's Pilcher. And they'll match up now man-to-man. Kenny with Salinas on him. He'll lean in on the switch, looking to flip. Hartley picked up that loose ball, smothered though by Coote. And possession will go to the white and green. Riley Palmer will find Culp. He'll retreat to the bench. Culp Gets a shot off. DeMode closed that 5-hole rebound as a late hit's going to be called on the play. No penalty, but McMahon got knocked into the crease, and it'll be possession to Whitby. And Culp looking to start things off with a skip pass right away. And crew chief Hollingsworth says, slow that up. Murphy, now swing it around to Milligan. Cam Milligan one-on-one. Goes for the backhand. That's well wide of the mark. Rebound, no picked up, no reset. 20 on the clock. Murphy looking for an opening. Hesitates. Then takes that first step. Diving! So Austin Murphy answers. His first of the game, first of the playoffs, and it's 4-1 Whitby.
And they finally figured out that spot to beat him on because he got his stick off the ground and he put it right in the 5-hole. A little bounce shot through the 5-hole. What a great first step to get by that guy and have him beat.
So Murphy, of course, wrapped up the season with 15 goals. That's his 16th. But again, first of the postseason. And it's a 4-1 lead. Off the face-off, Upshaw battling for it. Takes a couple whacks. He'll curl out. Getting close to the final minute of the half here as Steelhawks now with possession. And that momentum, a funny thing. You get a goal and you think, hey, maybe we cracked that goose egg. And back come these Steelhawks as Hutchinson shot goes wide of the mark. DeMode picks that up and he'll send away Vredenberg. Vredenberg waited on it, manages to pick that up. He'll curl out of there quickly and wait for some help. Hartley couldn't catch that pass cleanly. Steelhawks will capitalize. They'll move it up. We're under 40 seconds to go in the second. Milligan, quick pass. Keeley going hard to the net. He gets bounced out by two defenders. Good defense. Keeley again, relentless. Got the shot off. Stopped by DeMode. DeMode looks for the outlet. 25 seconds to go. Timeout called by the Timbermen. And I'd say, Blair, probably a good timeout with 24.3 seconds to go.
And one of the things that people can notice, too, in that situation, Whitby already had two guys coming back into that deep end zone, and there wasn't a Peterborough guy near the bench for transition. So, yes, smart timeout. Get the thing settled down, and let's get a play drawn up and try to get out of here 4-2.
Well, you figure if they can at least get a good quality shot off here, they're going to probably play for the last shot with the shot clock off.
100%.
I think it'd be a good idea, and it might go a long way to potentially stealing some momentum. We've seen some situations where late in quarters where teams will pull their goaltender for the extra attacker, and I've seen it backfire a number of times with a loose ball. So
I don't expect it at this point in time, other than unless he's halfway up there. No, he is coming out. I'm surprised at this move, only in the aspect that there's still 25 seconds to go, and you know what? I can see it with 10, so why not have the goalie standing right where the referee is, ready to go off the floor with 15 seconds to go? You don't have a shot clock involved here, so, I mean, that to me would be the smart move.
Well, we'll see how it goes here as Hartley's going to hold it out. They are going to play for the last shot, 15 seconds.
I would say they get down to about 12, and then they'll start their movement.
They're at 10 now, so here goes Hartley. He'll send it to Vredenberg. Vredenberg get a screen. He'll curl around, dump in a skip pass. Simpson not ready for it. Picked up, and Coots going to go for the net on that. Wide of the mark, but we played a half here at the track in Oakville. 4-1, Steelhawks. We'll be back after this break with the president of the Arena Lacrosse League. Welcome back to the track here in Oakville, Ontario. Lance Wynn here, and I'm joined by the president of the Arena Lacrosse League, Paul St. John. And Paul, when we talk about this league, tell me a little bit about what it was that inspired you to start the league. I know coming from CLAX and your involvement in that, but tell me a little bit about what motivated you to start this league for these guys.
Lance, honestly, I really don't know if I need to answer that. There's 30 minutes of fantastic lacrosse. We had a 4-1 game, and the goaltending's been outstanding. And we've had some great individual goals. J.P. Keeley's goal, the one-hander behind the back, through the legs, wherever the heck it went, but it went in the net. That's probably the real reason. It's just to see these guys that aren't in the NLL get a chance to play, get a chance to excel, and hopefully get looked at. We've seen some players go up, and hopefully if any NLL teams are watching this game because they don't have a game in the afternoon, boy, there's some outstanding performances right now that you can very easily fill those rosters.
So with that said, now, of course, finally after trying for a couple of years, and I won't say trying, but sort of feeling out the situation, the All has managed to become a partner with the NLL, and that's got to be something pretty positive.
Yeah, I think it's exciting for everybody. I really think when we first had a partnership agreement with the NLL back in December, everyone wanted to see what was going to happen. What did the partnership entail? It was an endorsement, by the NLL to say to us that, we're doing a great job. Keep developing these players, keep them in shape in season. So I think the players are really starting to see that. And the ones that do get the call, and, we see Mike Girollo go up, Colton Armstrong's gone up. Go up Abrams just went up.
Jeff Whittig, again, put up some big numbers.
So guys that we see go up, that's the whole purpose. So the partnership's there. The NLL obviously acknowledges the effort that we're putting in. I say we, Lance, because you're part of it, and so is Blair Campbell. And the rest of the crew, from JVI out to all the coaches and the general managers, and, of course, the players and the volunteer staff that we have. But it's exciting, and that's what we got to keep going to grow this, and this partnership grow this, is to make sure that, we keep putting a great product on the floor, and we keep doing a great game day as well.
So with that said now, of course, and a lot of times there is so much work involved and things that have to get taken care of that a lot of people don't sort of realize. Tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you've had putting this league together and keeping it going now that it's in its third season.
Well, I think some of the challenges is because we are an amateur league and the players pay to play, and we use a lot of volunteers. We don't have an endless cash flow. So we're always looking for people that want to help because they love the game. That's why I got in, really, and that's why you got in, and same with Blair. We got in because we love the game. And it's hard to explain to people passion. Everyone thinks they have it, but when it comes to being here 2 hours before a game, setting up, taking down, rolling carpet, running the penalty box when you have to do it and stuff like that, doing all the little things that people don't see, back at home, like you put together fantastic playoff preview, and hopefully people seen it on our website, the hours that go in behind the scenes. So when we look out, we reach out for volunteers, everyone can be a volunteer. We know that, we've all volunteered ourselves, of course, but we really look for that passionate person that doesn't mind putting in the time, because maybe they don't get rewarded financially through us, but maybe it's a stepping stone to get to the next level if they have ambitions to get to a pro team and help there, and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of work, but it is rewarding, as we know. And hopefully everyone that's watching this game today sees the product and sees what's happening with the JVI production, yourself and Blair calling the game, and really see it's a passionate affair because we have such great talent.
So now, with that said, I'm going to sort of swing things over a bit and ask you, as a parent, what is it like having your son playing in the league?
Tough. Very tough.
I figured.
You become a cheerleader. You're a parent, right? So obviously you're going to watch your kid, and you're going to be good and bad. We're all at times critical of our own kids.
Some harder, usually harder.
And we always expect them to do well. But you know what? For me personally, I think the frustrating thing is he just wants to play. So John comes and plays. He's not out there, you can see by his penalty minutes and stuff. He's not a kid that's going to go out and he just plays. So for me, I don't like when people come up and think we're doing this for Johnny, We're doing this for 175 players that are in this league, 25 per roster. Plus, actually, if you do the non-active, it adds up to well over 200. So, it is tough having a kid in the league, but it's also great, too. I mean, it brings everybody closer together. I do take the game home at times, a little too much probably, but you know what? I think for everybody that has a kid, whether they play in the same league, and we know some guys that have gone through it in the past, Terry and Josh Sanderson with the Toronto Rock. He coached and Josh played. It's just you can't treat them different. And I don't treat Johnny any different. He plays. And you know what? If it's a penalty and he deserves a penalty, he gets it, and stuff like that. So I think when everyone watches and realizes what this game's about, it's not about my kid. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about, one in particular person. It's about all of us. It's about all of us working together to create a league that's an amateur league that's producing lacrosse players and pro lacrosse players for the NLL.
Well, I think you're doing an outstanding job. You got to remember that Paul St. John, of course, played minor lacrosse, played, I would call it professional lacrosse, but either way, I would say a good 45 years of lacrosse experience in your belt. It's in your blood. It's your passion, and the league is lucky to have you, and the game's lucky to have you. So thank you for joining me here, and we'll be back, of course, with second half after this. Back to the Toronto Rock Athletic Center as we're locked and loaded for third quarter action. And Blair, when we look at the first half, got to be impressed. A 4-1 score, that's a pretty low-scoring affair.
Well, I think in this situation, both goalies have played extremely well. I can't say that that Coot has outplayed Damoud, but you know what? It's just a couple of shots that have been better.
So right off the bat, it's the Timbermen with the first possession of this third quarter. And it'll be Woods now that will send it over to Vredenberg, and Vredenberg will look for an opening. Gets a good hard screen, looks for the flip, dives in, and it's a good goal. So Mark Vredenberg with his second of the game, second of the playoffs, and the Timbermen come out and get things off to a good start.
One of the things on this goal, there was a beautiful shoulder pick thrown outside the dotted line on the right-hand side of the floor, which allowed him to get low and come across. And as he came across, Coot went with him instead of staying square in the net. And as he went with him, he just put it back behind where he came from.
Well, what are your thoughts on the diving? That's something that's been added to the game over the last few years, and guys seem to have perfected it. As Timbermen now scoop it up, and looking for an opening was Parker Sands. He still has it, dumps it back out. Still got their defensive unit out there, do the Timbermen, and good harassing defense by the Steelhawks. Upshaw, hard hit on Thompson. Thompson evades him, gets it over. Sands now working, bounce shot, stopped by Coot. So a good offensive possession for the defensive unit of the Timbermen, and the Steelhawks now will move it up.
Yeah, there's a lot of times back, when we were playing, it would have been great. But back then, that used to be that imaginary straight line all the way up to the roof.
You got it. Sky's the limit. Don't even put your stick over there. And good outlet pass. It's Doug Utting. Wrong stick side. Goes to the bounce. Closed that 5-hole by Coot. And he'll move it up, and it's Pilcher. So Pilcher's still in a defensive role. And you look at the rookie sensation and what he's done offensively, and he's going to stay out there now. And that's been the case, working with Keeley. Kind of a mentorship, and backdoor had Eddie. Not able to corral that pass, and it was a good one. And it'll be Utting now. Utting will trot it over the timeline. He'll get marked, and he'll flip before he heads to the bench for a break. 4-2 the score here. 13 minutes in.
Right now, this next goal is important.
Simpson from way outside. Snuck the sidearm by the defender. Beat Lucas Coot. And we've got a 4-3 game.
This is the start that Peterborough had to have and the start that Whitby hates. However, that was a perfect example of the screenshot right there. 35 feet out, right by the sweater. Coot never even saw it.
He sure didn't. And a good start here with back-to-back goals for the Timbermen. And it's Parker Sands off the draw, going hard. Tried to steer it in the far corner wide of the mark. Whitby now will pick it up and counter. It's Hutchinson. He'll get it over the timeline and flip it high, and it's Keeley now that'll settle things down. So
very important. Sorry, Lance. Very important right now for Whitby to give their goalie a chance to settle down.
Give and go to Culp, and incidental stick as he stepped on the pocket and fell. And now it'll be Arnold that'll bring it up over the timeline. He'll halt, wait, get it to Hartley. Hartley now looking to turn the corner, dumps it off to Woods. Woods sizing up Upshaw, kicks it back out to Bergen. They'll swing it over to Vredenberg left side. Vredenberg flip Hartley. Good move, tucks it underneath. Has the wrap, goes up, down. That's wide and off the rafters. Possession the other way. We're at the 12-minute mark exactly.
When that situation was going on, I was watching Roger Nurse reffing. And his arm actually came off his side and came partway up. He was going to call the hole, then he dropped it back down again. Good call, non-call, Roger.
Well, you know Roger appreciates you keeping an eye on him, and we know we got to keep an eye on Roger. So, good pass looking for Utting. Keeley doing a good job defensively to mark him and thwart that play, and now Pilcher will work on the half-board's left side out there with Keeley. He's got Culp with him. Looking to split that D on the run. Bounce shot wide of the mark. It'll go up. Pilcher's going to try to save it, and he does, but right to the Timbermen, but it's Eddie there. as he gets interfered with, and it'll be Arnold now. He'll dump it off, and Thompson will sit and wait. Eddie will grab the rest of his equipment and find his way to the bench.
Another situation in a playoff game right there. You either call both or none, and they called none, like that.
Simpson one-on-one. He's going to take it strong to the net. Draws a double team, triple team. Gets the shot off, stopped by Coote. Steelhawks waste no time moving it up. Palmer will dump it off, and it's McMahon. Keeley. Skip pass across. Finds Murphy. Murphy with a dangerous first step. Gives it down to Milligan. Milligan in the crease. So a beautiful pass right on the doorstep was Cam Milligan. Couldn't tuck in those toes, and possession will go the other way.
It's funny how that little white line and blue crease comes up on you real quick.
Sure does. Well, you run out of real estate in a hurry. Hartley, good first step. Gets by Hutchinson. Hutchinson, good recovery. Bradenburg. Bergen. Bergen's going to have to bring that in. It's a long way away from that net. Woods had Bergen, couldn't get it to him. Good defense by Upshaw. That pass goes awry. Kenny can't hold it. And we're going to have another penalty. It's going to be an illegal cross-check, and it's going to be Gulch Salinas that'll hustle over to the box. And for the fourth time today, the Timbermen will go to work with a man advantage and the momentum here, trailing by a goal.
Pretty sure those power plays right now are 4-0. And they can't keep doing this.
Well, you said off the top, and both coaches agreed that you spend time in the penalty box is never a good thing. Kenny trying to get on track, hard underhand, stopped by Coote. That ball loose, and Coote felt that, and he's going to need a minute as that was a bullet.
Yeah, rising shot came right up under the pads by the shoulders near the neck.
And
he felt that one.
I think that's going to take us to our officials' timeout here in the third quarter with 9:47 to go. And we talk about shot selection, and we know Kenny certainly has a very powerful shot. It's more along the lines of the shot selection. So do you, as a shooter, Blair, is it your intention to get a few shots off and sort of adjust your range kind of thing as you go?
Well, it's a funny situation in that because it just seems like the shots, they're not – I'm trying to think of the word I want here. They're not varying them. They're all coming from the same spot, from the same angle. They're all coming from semi-underhands. And you keep showing the goalie the same shot. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to figure out that if I'm seeing the same shot every time, I'm used to it.
I agree. And you know what? I think a lot of times guys get caught up with the beauty underhand goal or the sidearm and forget that the toughest shot is the overhand. That gives you the most variety, and it allows you to disguise your shot better than the others.
And the other thing with that, too, is if you're going to take that shot, you've got the goalie, and especially Coote is one that takes that step out. Utilize your guy in the crease because you're sitting down at that point. You've got the whole defense staring at you. You've proven you're going to take the shot. Take the same angle with the shot, but hit the guy's stick standing up on the crease. He's got a whole open net.
So we'll have a face-off, minute 45 to go in the Salinas penalty. And that gets flipped up and into the bench. Possession will go to the Timbermen, and they'll hustle to get their offense on and see if their power play can yield something here. 0 for 3 in the first half. Simpson out there with Woods and Bergen, Kenny, and Hartley. So Vradenburg not out there. Simpson, big shot, wide of the mark. That will go into the Whitby bench, and the Steelhawks now will get it and hustle it over the timeline. One man to beat, but thought better of it, was Adam Perrone. He'll retreat, gets it to Keeley. Keeley now will set things up with a minute to go in the penalty. Keeley out there with Murphy, Hutchinson, and Milligan. Keeley taking on two defenders. Curls, jump shot, sniffing that 5-hole. It was right on, but the mood was awake and closed that off, and here come the Timbermen.
That's the first time I've seen Whitby do that tonight, where they had three guys inside the dotted line, less than 5 seconds to go, and the two of them didn't peel out. They got to get that back in their heads.
Vredenberg back in on the left crease. Simpson underhand. So Cam Simpson has found the touch here, his second of the game. And we're all tied at 4.
Whitby right now has got to stop this parade to the penalty box. The goal is self-explanatory. It's straight underhand, right between the legs. They've got to let Coot get his momentum back, his mojo back, so to speak, because they keep giving Peterborough an opportunity. I've never seen a Peterborough power play yet that's going to go 0 for 4 in a game.
I don't know. I don't think there's ever been a Peterborough power play like that, at least certainly not in my days of playing minor lacrosse. So, but off the draw, Steelhawks now have to find a way to regain that momentum. 3 unanswered goals from the Timbermen as they pull even now, and here's Keeley. Keeley has been the spark plug here for these Steelhawks, but they need something from other guys. Murphy got to get on track. Give and go. Murphy and Milligan ran through the crease. Timberman now will pick that up, and they'll move it up. So you can tell Peterborough has a little more zip in their step. Dump off Arnold. Give and go down low. Quick stick missed by Hartley. Wide of the mark. And Timberman, though, winning the battles to the loose balls as Woods has it now with 10 on the shot clock. Woods swinging across to Vredenberg. Vredenberg fakes once, twice, takes a shot, side of the net. Rebound picked up, hockey. But Coot right there and tried to steer that one right in. And the Steelhawks now will come back on offense.
Whitby's got to get back to doing what they were doing, making their picks and their cuts and getting guys into the middle. They haven't been doing it in this half.
Milligan with an ill-advised pass in the middle. There was definitely no one there. Culp tracks that down. 10 on the shot clock. Culp loads up the overhand wide of the mark. Ball loose, scooped up though, and played nicely by Joe Wasson. And he'll move it up to Utting. 2-on-1, 2-on-2. Dump down Vredenberg, tried to quick stick too late. Utting, though, tracked that down and gets it to Kenny. Kenny now will pull it back out and dump it to Vredenberg, working one-on-one with Upshaw. 6:45 to go here, third quarter. Bergen fakes that first shot, can't get a shot off. Good defense, finds Kenny. Kenny looking for Simpson posting up, and Simpson had another jersey on him. And that jersey looked like Riley Palmer. Salinas, he'll pull it out. Keeley unloads, steered aside by DeMode.
Simpson was kind of helping that jersey on him, too.
Keeley now.
Assisting it.
Keeley now will elude one, dump it over. Murphy fakes it, loses it, knocks it back. Arnold picks it up. On the move, 3-on-1, Timberman. And it's Thompson, squeaks one in. So Zach Thompson, man, oh man, transition lacrosse. And the Timbermen come roaring back and take their first lead of the game, 5-4.
That's one of those things that's an instinct. You see the ball laying there. You've got two guys on you, so you try to slap it back to one of your own teammates. Unfortunately, it was trying to keep the ball from going back over the over and back line, but it just worked out in a bad situation. And again, Whitby got caught on offense looking at the ball instead of having guys coming back.
Off the draw, that's going to take us to our, not sure if we'll have our second official's timeout or not. I think that crew chief Hollingsworth is deciding on that, and good job of officiating. Explanation given to Dylan Hutchinson. Possession's going to go to the Timbermen as the Steelhawks appear to be back on their heels here. And I'll say,
Thompson not score that goal?
Pardon?
Thompson not score that goal?
Zach Thompson.
That's what I thought. They just announced it as Arnold. That shocked me. Sorry, that's why I asked you, partner.
It's all right. Hey, listen. Not a problem, and as long as we get it right, that's the main thing. So Radenberg will work to Hartley. We're under 6 minutes to go. Hartley blows by defender, tucks it in. So he blows by Upshaw, and Fred Hartley is on the scoreboard with his first of the postseason. It's 6-4 Peterborough.
Somehow, this bleeding has to stop if Whitby has to get back into this game. I don't know whether they got to take a timeout or whatever, but that was just a flat outrace the guy from the corner. He was by him on one step, and they got to stop letting that guy get behind them low. They've got to stop it.
A 5-0 run, 5 unanswered, and Timmerman looking to add another one. Good trying to hit Parker Sands, and Hutchinson now needs to give his team a bit of a lift. Steelhawks struggling. Been stuck on 4 here, and it's Keeley. Keeley gets a screen, takes a good hard hit. Good defense as he's getting worked over by Ethan Riggs. Murphy behind the net. That one's knocked down or deflected by DeMode. And the Timmerman now will bring it away. Everything going the way of the Orange here with 5:15 to go. Third quarter. Bergen will send it over to Kenny. Kenny will look for an opening. He'll lean in. That one goes right into the stick of Milligan. Milligan now 2-on-1. Can't see defender. Stopped, though, by DeMode. Rebound picked up by Simpson. Lost it. And Milligan will dump it back out. It's Culp there to stop it from going over the timeline. Culp, 1-on-1. Good fake. Rolls around Udding, gets a shot off wide of the mark. Tried to track that down, but Udding with some good hustle, and he'll work with Hartley 2-on-1. Udding, wrong stick side, wide of the mark. That will go out of play, and possession will go to the Steelhawks after our officials' timeout. So fast and furious, Blair, and when we take a look and we look over there at that Peterborough bench, having reeled off 5 straight goals without their head coach and GM, Joe Sullivan, you got to give Ray Nance some credit. He seems to have picked his team up and given him a bit of a lift.
Well, I promised Ray before the game that I would say hi to his dad, who I played against years ago. I'm not even going to go how many years ago, but it was a long, long time ago. But I'll tell you right now, Peterborough has stepped their game up. They've started running, which they weren't doing in the first half. And it's almost like Whitby's getting caught flat-footed right now. There's no unity on the defense anymore. In the first half, guys weren't getting beat like that. Right now, guys are getting beat low, and somehow it's got to stop. Now, as I said, I don't know whether they got to take a timeout, talk about this, or hopefully get to the end of this quarter really quick and no more damage done.
Well, you got to give some credit over to that coaching staff because the adjustments that were made at halftime clearly are working. And from what I see up here, I see Peterborough doing a good job of spreading the floor a little better on offense and creating those one-on-one mismatches. And when you got guys that have good speed, in particular your transition guys, that's going to do something. One-on-one Keeley now, and he'll draw a penalty, gets it back out to Murphy. So the Steelhawks looking for their first power play of this game. It's delayed with 10 on the shot clock. And it's Murphy now. Murphy will dump it off Milligan. No-look pass. Swing it across. Looking down low in the middle. And Culp wide of the mark. And we will have another power play. This time it'll be the Steelhawks that go to work with a man advantage.
I'll tell you what, Chad Culp's not going to get many more opportunities than what he just had right there, 2 feet in front of the net. And able to spin, and he had that whole side of the net. He just missed it. Well, this is an unusual thing for me when you take Cody McMahon and Chad Culp and you don't have them on your power play.
So Borden now the guilty party. He'll spend 2 minutes in the box, and for the first time, Steelhawks will go to work out there. They've got Pilcher, Keeley, left side. Milligan's the quarterback, quick stick, nothing there. Stopped by DeMode, ball loose. And it's picked up. Good hustle. And racing up, trying to win that leg race. And getting a good shot off, but wide of the mark was Brett Coons. And it'll be Pilcher now that gets it over the timeline. So Milligan at the top. Keeley, left shooter, Pilcher, left crease. You look over on the right side, you've got Garrett Eddy in the right shooter, and Austin Murphy down on the right crease. DeMode has it smothered. He just decides he's going to pick it up with his hand, and a beauty pass on the money to Udding. And with 1:10 to go in the penalty, he's going to work some clock. He'll draw a couple defenders and float it out to Simpson, and Simpson, one of the leaders in shorthanded markers, he'll do more than draw a crowd, as he'll draw 2 defenders and looking for that triple team. Best to do that, still has it. He's going to bull his way to the net, trying to get there. Finally, they bring in 4, take him down in the crease, and the Steelhawks now will move it up with 45 seconds to go in the penalty. So I think that's the only way you can defend Cameron Simpson is by committee.
No, you can always hog tie him. Get the lasso out.
You can. It's tough to go out there and lasso with your stick in the other hand. That's the only issue. McMahon, Milligan behind the net. McMahon opening, sidearm wide. And Milligan's going to try to track it down, but the shot clock goes. Udding hustles his way there to get there. And he'll pull it out with 15 seconds to go in the penalty. So you can feel the Timbermen now starting to get more and more confident with their largest lead of the game, 6-4. This game was 1-0 Whitby at the end of 1, 4-1 Steelhawks at the half. And we're now at 6-4. Hartley will swing it across to Kenny. Kenny will look for a screen, doesn't get one, looking for Hartley cutting, not there. Picked up by Woods. Woods with the tricky underhand. That's well wide. Vredenberg will leave it. And with 1:39 to go, possession will be going in the other direction with the Steelhawks. Could use a goal here before the end of this quarter. That for momentum's sake is Keeley, one-on-one. Blows by a defender. Help there, and Arnold dumps it back off. Working it tight and a beauty finish. So Jeff Fernandez, Johnny on the spot one more time, his second of the game. And it's a big one, and it's 6-5.
And a great job taking the ball to the net, realizing it's not there, taking a step out. Peterborough got caught with the defenseman trying to help out too far down low, which let the goal scorer get like 10 feet out, and a nice little pass, and he had 2 or 3 fakes, and you're just not going to miss that often in there.
I'm not sure if that was classified as a power play goal or not. But Parker Sands will pull it out. Nope, my partner has corrected me. Sands with a double team. Still has it. Rolling out, rolling back. Now loses it. And here come the Steelhawks. So collectively, a good hold there for Whitby. And we'll see now what the offense can do as we're into the final minute of the third quarter. Keeley, ISO'd. He'll curl around, look for a shot, swing it over to Milligan, right side. Milligan leans in. Skip pass, Pilcher in out, he loses it. It's picked up by the Timbermen, and they'll look to move it up over the timeline.
I'm not so sure that was a shot as so much it was he was trying to pull it back up, and it just rolled out of his stick.
35 seconds to go here. Bergen will swing it over to Vredenberg, half boards. He gets chased, double team pressure in him. Kenny, Pilcher on him, Simpson can't get it. Woods bails him out, 10 on the shot clock. Woods, dipsy-doodle on Hutchinson. Good shot on the switch over. Stopped by Coote. Under 20 to go here. Lofted over. And it's Hutchinson. He'll put on the brakes. Get it to Milligan. He'll get it back. 5 on the game clock. Got to hurry. Murphy's going to let it go. Bounce shot off the crossbar and off the netting with 1.5 seconds to go. Got to be a quick shot, and no siree. We've played 3 quarters. Fasten your seatbelt for a good finish. 6-5 for the Timbermen.
Amen. You better fasten them, because I'm pretty sure we're going to have a pretty quick up and down third and fourth quarter.
Well, we've had an up and down first 3 quarters, so I can't imagine the fourth's going to be any different. And boy, oh boy, you got to tip your hats off to whatever they're doing on the Peterborough side is working.
And the difference right now in this is both teams are going to have the long change to go from defense to offense. And that's it's the team that's in the best shape shape and the team that's going to be running the most that's going to win this thing right now.
Very interesting observation when you talk about that, Blair. It's a key thing, and I think there are a lot of strategies to. I call it the new game because the offense-defense is a new thing compared to when, back in the day when we played. So when you talk about that, you think fatigue, not really an issue because you're only playing one end of the floor. But when you talk about the long change, makes a big difference. So
it's a huge difference in the aspect that those guys also aren't used to that run. But the other situation here on defense, and I mean, I went through this with Paul quite a bit in this past summer, is
Paul who?
One of the things, our illustrious Prez.
Gotcha. Okay.
One of the things that a lot of the teams don't do anymore offensively is they don't make the defenders play them. They'll stand 5-10 feet away from them, and by the end of the game, the one that's tired is the guy on offense. Whereas if you're playing offense and you're making a guy hit you every time you're leaning into him, you're making him play you, his arms are going to be so tired by the fourth quarter. Now you've got the advantage. You might not get it in the first or second quarter, but you're going to in the fourth.
And I think you're right. And when we used to play both ends of the floor, we'd always say, make them work on defense, make them work on defense.
My floor was always slanted.
Always had a tilt to it, right to the offensive end. I got you. We're good to go here for the final 15 minutes here, quarterfinal number 1. The Steelhawks and the Timbermen battling 6-5 the lead here for Peterborough. Right off the bat, off the draw, it's going to go to the Steelhawks. And Murphy, they'll set things up. So the Timbermen came flying out of the gate in the third quarter, and the Steelhawks now looking to do the same. Culp does a good job to roll off a check, looking for Milligan. That's deflected, and it's Vredenberg now that will get it over the timeline. Look for numbers. Thompson with a Vredenberg with a tricky shot as he beats Coote looking the other way, and it's 7-6 Peterborough.
Coote was just not ready for that shot, and Vredenberg did a good job selling it on the full run. Never broke stride and just let it go from the hip.
I think you're right, Blair, and that's the key is that he sold it. He looked like he was trotting a bit and waiting for the offense, and you could tell that he was taking a sneak peek and see what Coote was doing and caught him napping. Third of the game for Vredenberg, the captain of this Peterborough team. Off the draw again, Steelhawks with some work to do. They got it in the Peterborough end, but it's Parker Sands does a good job to roll out of traffic. He runs into 2 defenders. He goes down, still has it, and Udding's there, teetering near the timeline, but he'll curl out, give the Peterborough offense a chance to work here.
Great ball skills right there on that play.
Hartley will roll off 2 and set up Kenny. Comes with the underhand again. Scooped up by Simpson. Another good save by Coote. Another save by Coote. Point blank on Hartley. Rebound now, and it's Hutchinson. Sorry, Pilcher. They'll swing it out, and Milligan now will get it over to his stick side, and it's Murphy. Murphy. One-on-one, blows by 1, he curls out, thinks better of it. Shot clock winding down to 2, gonna have to shoot it, Keeley. Overhand, wide of the mark. Possession's gonna go to the Timbermen, and they'll get it in the offensive end. Just a reminder, stick around for the second half of our doubleheader, quarterfinal number 2. Paris Riverwolves, Six Nations Snipers. 2 teams have battled 3 times this season, and they've all been 1-goal games, so you're getting a good one here, and you got another one coming. Good move there by Bergen. Rebound, Vredenberg wide of the mark. And Kenny's going to have to hurry. Can't tiptoe his way without landing on the defensive side, and it'll be possession to the Steelhawks. Palmer will put on the air brakes and look to flip. He's getting harassed, and he'll dump it off behind the net. Milligan lost it. Culp there to bail him out. Udding takes him hard to the boards. Culp behind the net. Milligan didn't see it, and Murphy comes airborne, but he wasn't able to come away with any of the rubber. And moving it on up, and here come the Timbermen out the back door. Simpson, he'll curl out and wait for reinforcements. Kenny got that big shot, looking for the underhand. He'll dump it off. Bergen bails him out, and they'll skip it over to Woods. Woods underhand, that doesn't get through. Salinas now will battle for it. Taking on two defenders, loses his equipment. Hard shot there, and that's going to cost Salinas another chip to the box, someplace where he's quite familiar with.
Undisciplined. That's the penalty right there. Completely undisciplined. You know what? You're in a 2-goal game. You've been outscored like 6-2 in the last quarter and a bit, and because a guy hits you into the boards when you don't have the ball that's been fought for in the corner the way that was, you turn around and you give him 2 fists in the face. I'm sorry, that's undisciplined.
Well, it is, and that's what, when you had your discussion with head coach Proud and Brad MacArthur, that was a key. And they have to know 5-on-5, they can play with any team.
Yep.
But when you give teams a power play like this Peterborough team, in particular with the momentum they've got right now, you could be in trouble. Vredenberg, tricky pass to Kenny. Kenny skip pass to Woods. 10 on the shot clock. You can see that box in the net. Yeah, you can see that box really compacted in wide of the mark. That's going to go over the timeline. Good job by Vredenberg, but his flip as the shot clock will go, and it'll be Upshaw now. That'll lug it up. 11:30 to go here in the fourth. Peroni will send it over, and Murphy now will look to work some time with 1:10 to go in the penalty. Culp. 1-on-1, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Swings it over to Milligan. Milligan. 1-on-1, Milligan's going to lean in, try to tuck it. Ran out of real estate, and DeMode closed him off. Here come the Orange. Wasson. He'll send the bounce pass across, and Simpson will go find his spot as there are 42 seconds to go in the man advantage. You got Woods out there with Bergen. Simpson now went to the shooter's spot. Vredenberg picked up that rebound. Again, Bergen goes to the overhand. Good stop by Coote. That ball is going to get tracked down by Vredenberg. Plenty of time on the shot clock. 22 seconds left in the man advantage. Peterborough with a 2-goal lead here. 10:20 to go in the fourth. Looking for an invite to the Final Four next week at the ILA. On the reservation of the Six Nations. And a good bounce pass. Good backhand pass, but Woods, quick stick, well wide of the mark. That will go the length of the carpet. And it'll be a violation. And should be possession deep in the offensive end for the Steelhawks. So Whitby needs something here to get back on track. And they'll start things off at the top. Garrett Eddy. Swinging around, looking for the give and go. Murphy! So Austin Murphy steps up, buries his second of the game. A much needed marker. And it's 7-6.
100% needed marker. Had to get quick. The one thing I didn't like was after the goal, he stood there and got in the face of the Peterborough defender. You know what? You scored the goal, walk off. You're trying to get something going that you're going to lose because you give them too many more penalties and power plays. You're going to lose it. But it was a great goal, great underhand rising shot, top corner.
Well, we talked about changing angles, right? And that was a good example there by Austin Murphy, last year's MVP.
Great job finding him basically in the slot.
Off the draw, Timberman now will get a hold of it, Thompson, and he'll flip it off, and they'll get out of trouble swarming D by the Steelhawks as they close the gap now to 1, and there are 9:25 to go. Simpson looking to Hartley. Hartley wrong stick hand side, so not the best angle. Coote closed that off, and out the back door. On the money, quick shot, beauty finish. So Corey Upshaw delivering again. and finding who else but Jeff Fernandez. Fernandez with his third of the game. We are tied, Blair, 7-7.
Once again, this goal was made by one player. That player was the one that came from defense and went to the bench as soon as that ball was loose. And Fernandez come off the bench, but gratis, great pass, but the play was made by the guy going to the bench in the transition.
So we're all tied at 7 apiece, and when you look at the scorers for these Steelhawks, as Murphy picks that up, and he'll look for another possession. Good fake, goes to the net, takes a bounce shot, and it sneaks its way. We'll see. Roger Nurse right there, and it's in the pad of DeMode and out. And that should take us to our timeout. And I'd say for the fourth time, DeMode has kept that ball right on that white line without allowing it to go over.
I'm pretty sure that the two coaches, Gavin and Brad, well, Gavin more than Brad, but they want these refs to get together because they're pretty sure that ball was on his pads but inside the goal line. The problem is there's no replay to
Well, the problem is that if we ask them if it was in, I'm sure they're probably going to say it was. They're not going to say it wasn't. So I think they got a biased opinion. Now, I'm looking at the Steelhawks, their scores. And you've got Murphy with 2. You've got J.P. Keeley with 1 and Cody McMahon with 1. But how about Jeff Fernandez, your transition guy, with 3?
And that's what we talked about. You've got to get different people involved in the scoring so that they're keying. They're not keying on the same people all the time. We just got informed by our illustrious president they were looking at the replay on the side of us here, and he said no goal. Thanks, Paul. Fortunately for us, we have that capability out there. So
either way, a biased opinion. I'm not sure. It didn't look like it was in.
No.
Based on the way you saw DeMode when he got up,
and that's
it was
where it
stuck right.
Yeah, it was in his shin pad, in the front of his shin pad.
Okay, it was in the front,
Yep.
So that's good. While I'm looking at this sheet again, I see Cam Milligan with no goals.
Yep.
I see Chad Culp with no goals and Luke Pilcher with no goals. And I only say that because these guys were instrumental.
Yep.
Milligan with
100%.
55 points, Pilcher with 49, and Culp with 39. So,
but again, that's Peterborough keying on those guys, and they're getting the scoring from a secondary situation, which they don't. This game right now is over.
You got to. Playoffs are a different beast, and adjustments are made. And when you give coaches a chance to prepare, then that's exactly what happens. Good to go here. Just under 9 minutes to go. Fourth quarter. Mark Vredenberg is going to lug it over the timeline, and the Timbermen offense will go to work. Teams at full strength, 5 aside. And Vredenberg now with a hat trick, tries to dump it off to Kenny. Kenny looking for something. And it's the Steelhawks now in transition who appear to have the momentum. Good lead pass, going in and off the post. So Garrett Lewis with a golden opportunity to give his team the lead. He beat DeMode but couldn't beat the iron. Vredenberg now will be very deliberate here, working on the half boards. Way up on the left side. Hartley. They'll swing it over. Hartley will get it back. Hartley trying for in close pass to Vredenberg, but to no avail. And the Steelhawks now don't have the numbers. So Byrne will loft it right back out to Pilcher, and Pilcher will retreat to the bench as well. Here come the offense. Eddie out there with Milligan and Murphy, as well as Keeley and Culp, and there's Austin Murphy. Boy, oh boy, when you need him, he comes a call in his third of the game, and it's 8-7 Steelhawks.
What made this goal so good was Murphy went to set the pick and faked the pick and slid off of it and slid right into the to downtown, and they just slid the ball to him, and he was already there. But that fake pick set that whole thing up.
Well, you talk about guys doing a little bit of cheating. You know, Lucas Coote cheated a bit. Vredenberg beat him with the no-look. Now you look down there. You cheat defensively with these guys, and they're going to make you pay, and that's exactly the case here as the Timbermen now will counter the other way. So it's been a game of runs down low. Coote kept that out as it bounced off his pad off the post, and now they'll bring it back with Diachenko.
That's a huge save in what's gone on in the last little while.
7:15 to go. Keeley looking for Murphy. Murphy again. Austin Murphy red hot on the money. Buries another. He's got 4. And the Steelhawks now have a 9-7 lead.
Natural hat trick. And again, great job by Murphy in that first step. He's clear wide across there. Good job for the Whitby players to be seeing this occurring. You got a guy hot. You got a guy that's got the step. Use him.
And they certainly did. So Austin Murphy, last year's reigning MVP, showing you just why. And he has certainly given his team a lift. And a two-goal lead. That's been the largest lead by either team in this game. Off the draw, Steelhawks, they're feeling it now, and boy, oh boy, game of runs for sure. And guess who? Murphy in tight again. Austin Murphy, natural hat trick, what? 5th of the game, and it's 10-7.
We've used the term in sports, and it's probably lacrosse is the most prominent game of ebbs and flows. And right now the ebbs are going Whitby's way.
That is an understatement and a half, as we've seen an explosion, individual explosion by Austin Murphy, as he's taken the game over with 4 straight goals, and the Steelhawks now are feeling it. They move it up, and it's going to be Murphy now, and you better believe he's going to draw a crowd now, as they'll get it to Milligan, who settles the short hop, and he'll bring it over to the right side.
My question is, can he play another 6.5 minutes without leaving the floor?
It'll be interesting to see, as too much screen on that screen and roll. And the Timbermen now with Thompson need a jump start, need a spark. Simpson rolls off one, bounces off another, draws 2, a third now, kicks it out. Good swarming defense for the turnover. Steelhawks in transition. Lewis gets it over. Culp, big save by DeMode.
That's what
Udding's going to track that down, and we're going to have a penalty call. And it looks like it's going to be on the Timbermen.
That's one of those things that's unfortunate. He got that ball cleanly and quick stick it, that would have been in the net. But unfortunately, he had to make sure he had it. Therefore, he didn't get the shot away. I think that was too many men, but I'm not sure. This is a huge power play right now for Whitby. If they can ever go 4 goals up.
So it looks like Parker Sands, the guilty combatant. And the Steelhawks now with just their second power play opportunity of this game. With 6:06 to go. Leading by 3. Eddie out there with Murphy and Milligan. Keeley and Culp on the left side. They'll give everyone a touch. Keeley will feel it out. And it has his pocket pick taken away. And it's Wasson who is looking for Udding. That gets knocked down. And Eddie now will get it to Milligan. And Milligan now will try it one more time. 1.5 minutes to go.
Great defensive play by Milligan, getting it in the laneway.
5:35 to go here. Time winding down, becoming a factor here for the Timbermen as the Keeley will gap that box. They'll interchange. Keeley to the top. Overhand. Close that 5 hole by DeMode. DeMode, the long pass to Udding. Udding has Keeley on him. Udding now will come up with the loose ball. Has no help, so it's a 1-on-2 situation, and he'll think better of it and pull it out. Under 1 minute to go in the penalty. Hartley. ISO'd up top, gets a screen, looks bounce, too much bounce in the bounce shot. And that will take us to our final officials timeout. So we are set for a very exciting Final 4:56. And if we race through the scoring here for the Timbermen, Thompson has a goal, Simpson has 2, including a power play marker, Hartley with 1, and Vredenberg with 3. On the Steelhawks side, you have Austin Murphy leading the way with 5. Jeff Fernandez, surprise transition player, he's got 3. Cody McMahon chipped in, he had the first goal of the game. And J.P. Keeley, of course, with the highlight through the legs on the quick stick. So not exactly the guys stepping up who you would thought. If you look on the Timberman side, need a little something out of Woods. Could probably get more out of Kenny for sure, and out of Bergen. So we'll see if those guys can step up here in the final 5 minutes of this game. Of course, 1 ticket already punched to the Final Four. That is owned by the St. Catharines Shockwave, who finished the season with just 1 loss. So 12-1 they finished, and they've got the number 1 seed and a bye. So these 2 teams here battling for invite number 2 to the Final Four next weekend at the ILA. Around the horn, Culp at the top. Backhand, Keeley had that blocked, picked up by Murphy. And they feed Keeley. Keeley can't quick stick. McMahon tracks it down, 5 on the shot clock. Got to move in, got to get a shot on. And it's Cody McMahon. So how about that? Cody McMahon from a tough angle. He buries his 2nd of the game. And just like that, 11-7 for the Steelhawks.
This is a tough shot for Demuth to take because it was less than 5 seconds on the shot clock. He actually made the save, but on the line, it went off his glove and into the net.
Well, you know, Blair, I'm wondering if what you brought up earlier about potential fatigue could not be setting in. As you see, the Timbermen have lost a bit of that step that they had earlier. It certainly had opened a half, and a hard hit there from Ethan Riggs. Interference called, no damage done. Possession will go to Peterborough. And it'll be Simpson now. So Peterborough does not have time on their side here. They've got some work to do, trailing by 4 now. Largest lead of this game. That one picked off. And looking to move that up, and it's a one-hopper. Good hesitation move, going hard to the net. And not able to beat the post was Dan Ball. And Culp does a good job forechecking, forces it away from Udding. Woods there, though. He'll track it down, and he'll find Udding. Udding will get it over the timeline. And it was an 8-second count. And again, the officials do a manual count along with the shot clock. And that way it's not all about whoever's in the box. A costly turnover there by the Steelhawks, and Udding now will bring it over. 3.5 minutes to go. Udding will draw 2 defenders, switch hands, knocked down by Milligan, knocked down again by McMahon, and Milligan picks it up. Airmailed, back door to Culp. Culp will track it down. He'll curl out of that dangerous spot, and he'll settle it down. Time, a friend of the Steelhawks. 1-0 Whitby after 1. Sorry, 4-1 Whitby at the half. They trailed 6-5 after 3, and now lead this one 11-7. Outlet pass is on the money to Clay Arnold. Arnold doesn't have any help. 2-on-2. Pumps it off, and it's Woods. Vredenberg. You'll see the Whitby bench trying to inspire their D to hold things off.
Empty net.
So they've got the net pulled for the extra attacker. Bergen's shot wide of the mark, picked up, and it's going to be a violation. So Demuth's going to have to hustle back into the net, and the Steelhawks will get it up quickly, and it's Luke Pilcher. Pilcher A good pass to Murphy. Murphy with a double spin will curl out. Good discipline, knowing that time is a factor here with 2:15 to go. Culp, backdoor, one-on-one. Leans in, flips it back behind the net, looking to dunk it. And it's Keeley. So Keeley sized that up, took a look at the mode, and went for the slam. And Keeley again adding to his total. It's 12-7.
I think they're trying to take contact with the goaltender with the stick on the shot, but I think the ball was already in the net.
Well, either way, the call is made. I've yet,
And it's
though,
done.
and you know, you've seen many lacrosse games. Rarely do they make a call and bring it back.
Overturned.
That's right. So
100%. But that was, you know what? That could have just been the nail in the coffin. And if I'm, one of the things I saw Whitby doing on the last possession was Culp come off the, or not Culp, sorry, McMahon come off the bench, both hands up, tell him slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. I'd be taking 30 seconds every chance I get right now.
ball loose, picked up by the Timbermen, had it momentarily, now scooped up by the Steelhawks, and it's Upshaw. Absolutely right. The discipline, though, has been on the Steelhawks side here in the fourth quarter. They've stayed out of the box. And 5-on-5, they've been tough to handle. It's been the Austin Murphy explosion as Milligan on the run. Minute and a half to go. Tracked down by Keeley. 5 on the shot clock. His shot on the mark. And Keeley will track that down. Sands has it, and Peterborough now will move it up. They got to hurry. And Parker Sands took exception. And I'm not quite sure how he could have,
I think they're both going,
an issue with 18-year-old Luke Pilcher. That has to be Pilcher's first penalty of the season. And like you said, Blair, either you call none or you take them both. And at this juncture of the game, both you guys may be best to think about what you did.
That very well may have been a penalty of frustration on Peterborough's part, where, you know, they haven't scored a goal in how long now, and 5 goals is going to be tough to come back from in a minute.
Awfully tough as the Mode's going to head to the bench. And Kenny now will work it around. We're creeping in on the final minute here, quarterfinal 1. Kenny goes to the underhand again. That's wide. Hard shot on Vredenberg. Vredenberg chases Hutchinson, and Vredenberg took exception, as it's probably going to be key here for the officials to tighten things up, as DeMode and Adam Peroni exchanging words down at the other end out of the play. Vredenberg took a couple hard hits, took exception, chopped down a tree or two, and we'll see who.
Well, Kenny's going. He really top Palmer there. They've got into it down in the Whitby defense.
Well, Kenny went, and I know Upshaw had a few words to say to him on the way by, so I think that with the Steelhawks power play.
You know what? You don't even need a shot right now. Just stand at center floor with the ball.
We've got 5.6 seconds, and we're just going to get some clarification.
It's 5-on-4. They've got it right.
So the Steelhawks now, with a power play, it'll be a 4-on-3. Sorry, a 5-on-3, and
No, it's 5-on-4, but there's two double minor
yes,
there.
5-on-4. My counter a bit off as usual. Fortunately, our viewers can count better than I can, and look for the Steelhawks just to try to work it. 35 seconds to go in the game. Culp, Murphy, Keeley, stay by mode. 30 seconds to go. And again, it's getting chippy with Wasson, DeMode in there. And definitely some frustration on the part of Peterborough. Whitby better be good at being cool about it. And Whitby will have another game. The Timbermen will not, as Needless to say, Culp has drawn a crowd, Demode included.
What I was starting to say is that penalty box floor should not be open. He should not be off the floor.
So Keeley took exception. He took the late hit. That was delivered, I believe, by Joe Wasson.
If you're Whitby right now, cooler heads have to prevail. You got to be smart in this situation.
You got another game to play. I think it's vital that you come away with this with no suspensions. Chad Culp's in the box. 26.5 seconds to go, and so luckily the officials are getting together because there's an awful lot of chirping going back and forth between Cody McMahon and Nick Demode. And you can bet lacrosse players can trash talk with the best of them.
No.
Never heard that in my life. I know you never,
ever.
Nope. That
I was
that
the
that
most
I know.
polite individual on the floor. I always said please and thank you right after I went by the guy.
Right. But you played for Rexdale, so I know that's not true. I know that's a tad bit fabricated and a little bit embellished. You're a good guy.
The fact that I was polite, is that what's embellishing?
Well, that right off the bat is like, you know what? You're going to lie to me. Can you lead me on a little bit before you jam it right in my face, please?
I would never do that to you, Lance.
No, never. Not at all.
I think quite highly of you.
The truth will set you free. I know, Blair. I always when I say we taking it back. You know, it's not like the kids now know about the Flintstones or Gilligan's Island or anything like that, okay? Just us, okay?
Yeah, but you were alive when the Flintstones were around.
Better believe it.
No, I mean when they were around, not on TV.
Oh, I see. It was a biopic. You were involved, but.
Yeah, I guess I got to be careful. I am. You have to respect your elders.
I'm trying to. I really am.
As little as possible.
Can't make any promises for sure, as our officials crew continues to sort this one out. Unlike the NLL, they don't have the privy to the video replay.
No, but I think this would be a good time under the circumstances with the score, the amount of time left. You know what? You guys, go hit the dressing rooms, both of you. And that way nothing's going to start.
Unfortunately, 26 seconds, you got to make it official, and I agree. If there was maybe 10, 15, I would agree with you.
Well, I'm just saying the two combatants, not the teams.
No, you know what? I think you're absolutely. I think that really no one should be in the penalty box. Out. You know what? Grab your gear. You're not coming back, and they're going to wind some time down on the clock. Not sure what is transpiring.
I think they're wiring the
here.
whole thing down. It's over.
And I think that's going to be the case. So they're not actually going to allow anyone to get injured on the play, and it's going to be the Steelhawks that are going to advance. And Blair, when you look at that, what are your thoughts about that finish?
What my thoughts on that finish is, you got a 5-goal game. There's no difference. There's no point in letting it go any farther. It's already showed the potential to get into that kind of a game. Stop it now. And I agree 100% with what they did.
You'll get no argument from me for sure. I think that is definitely the way to go, despite some of the head shaking. So either way, we want to remind you, stick around. We've got another quarterfinal number 2 coming up. The Paris River Wolves against the Six Nations Snipers. For Lance Wynn, Blair Campbell, the JVI crew. Thanks for joining us here. We'll be back with game number 2